share the screen, the PPT that I have prepared, and share it with you.
Sure.
Only we'll request you to confine to the timings, please.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Can I hope the PPT is visible?
Yes.
Yeah, everything is.
Sorry. Just a second. A very good afternoon, good morning rather, to all the jury members and my fellow participants. It's a very nice opportunity to be able to express my and share my experiences during this unprecedented time of Corona, when police is usually seen as a problem solver, where we have thousands of such situations which are unprecedented and we deal with them like on daily basis. But this is something which was even the creativity, the problem solving technique and methods used by police was actually tested to the maximum. To begin with, I would start with the perspective of Himachal. We usually see it as, at least in the rest of the country, we usually see it as a place which is pristine, low population, and a place, a tourist spot. But we do have certain issues which are like quite challenging to us as well. First of all, narcotics trade is something that we all know of. Secondly, we share international boundaries with China specifically, and especially at a time like this when some aggressive moves from our neighbor is being seen. Secondly, Pakistan is barely 20 kilometers aerial distance from Himachal boundary, so that is also affected. A spillover effect of this is usually seen in neighboring areas, especially in Punjab. Similarly, we all know that except for Himachal, almost every state which is neighboring to Himachal, there has been some or the other terrorist activity in the past or is still ongoing. So spillover effect is but natural, where a lot of people come over to Himachal as a safe haven. So that is another challenge. But some like COVID was a totally different experience altogether. I was posted till last month as Superintendent of Police District Hamirpur. To put in perspective the entire system, it is the smallest district in terms of area in Himachal Pradesh, but it has the highest population density. It has the highest literacy rate, not only in the state, but one of the highest in the country. It shares boundaries with a lot of other districts, so it is very centrally located, and it is a transportation hub for almost entire Himachal. So COVID management, we had a lot of challenges, and some aspects of them I'm highlighting here. First of all, the first explosion, so to speak, of COVID cases was in Hamirpur, where despite being one of the smallest districts, we had highest number of cases, almost 1/3 of total cases that were actually reported from entire Himachal. So at the very beginning itself, we got hit hard by this virus itself. Secondly, the matter of in-migration. We all saw a lot of people, a lot of migrants coming on roads in big cities such as Bombay, Delhi, and coming together to go to their destinations. We do not know the aspect of how and where they went after all. They all landed in places like Hamirpur, where almost 4 lakh returnees from all over the country who came back to Himachal till date. Almost 1 lakh people came to Hamirpur district itself, which is very high because we have one of the lowest police population ratio in the country. 85 police personnel per lakh, with addition of 1 lakh more people who were in distress as migrants coming from outside, brought bigger challenges with it. And I knew from the beginning itself, we knew that there is no replaceability because we have such a small force in Himachal Pradesh itself. So replacing policemen in case we do get affected, the force gets affected due to it, was not an option. Thirdly, there was during this entire period when people in-migrated, the nature of crime, especially against the vulnerable groups itself, has changed because people were forced to stay indoors. And staying indoors, there was a restriction on alcohol consumption. There was no, for example, there were a lot of drug addicts who were restricted to their homes. Domestic violence cases increased. Even POXO cases also increased. So that was another challenge. Fourthly, there was another issue, fake news, which was doing rounds, especially in the beginning itself when some specific communities were being targeted. So even in a place which is otherwise peaceful in Himachal, usually there are no clashes, at least in terms of religious issues. There were some tensions which had to be dealt with and diluted with right away. So these were a few fake news, for example, was something which is very, very challenging, because something it is unprecedented to deal with all these things at the right time before they become so widespread that the fake news itself becomes the truth. Having said that, there were, if I was to break up the strategy into some separate columns, we were looking at collaborating policing, which was essentially a work in the making since perhaps a long time. Himachal Pradesh Police thankfully enjoys a lot of confidence of public, and there is a close interaction between them, which at a time like this, when everyone was in crisis, was something that really helped us in managing this entire crisis. And as I said, with very low number of policemen per lakh population, this was something which actually helped us in dealing with this crisis in a very, very effective manner. Secondly, because we had collaboration from the people who were volunteering for us, we could help the vulnerable and put our more stress on those things. Thirdly, protecting the protector. As I said, the chance of having a replacement of policemen who got affected was rare, almost negligible. So I think protecting the policemen was one of our major aspects, because they were so few in number. And fourthly, the communication part is something very important, because we used our social media very effectively, and I'll show you some examples of the same as well. First of all, this is a few examples of how we tried to create in which we could help the most vulnerable. First of all, it was the elderly. We already have a Sanrakshan Yojana, which is a community policing mechanism, which we utilized this time especially, because a lot of old citizens, senior citizens who were especially staying in rural areas and staying alone because their children were working outside the state, needed delivery of medicine and essential services especially, because usually it is seen that these people are neglected because because young population and people who are staying closer to the center or city center or town center are getting, for example, home deliveries also and all these things as and when required. But the essential requirements of people who are most vulnerable was something which needed utmost attention. So we made a list of all the senior citizens, especially the ones who were staying alone in the area, every police station wise, and we collected their number. And every day a policeman from the police station would call these people and ask them if they need anything. This was a routine that is still being followed. So we would call them and ask them, is there something, is everything okay? Are you have some medical symptoms? Do you require some delivery of medicines? So things like that, we started doing this. It was important to do this on a phone, because a lot of senior citizens are also not very comfortable using social media and Twitter and Facebook and such things, or WhatsApp for that matter, and don't have phones also. So we made sure that we called them on the phone. If they were not even picking up the phone, a policeman would visit just to check up on these senior citizens. Secondly, as I said, the migrants who were already staying, because in Himachal also and in Hamirpur specifically, a lot of people from outside the state, for example, especially in UP, Bihar, they are already staying there for their livelihood. Luckily, there was hardly any out migration from Himachal Pradesh, because we ensured, and specifically from Hamirpur, because we ensured that they were well taken care of. We cross-checked there. We had a cross-check mechanism where through local pradhans who were delivering food and essential services to essential items to these migrant labor, we cross-checked it through our police visits also regularly, that if they were getting enough adequate rations for the period that they were there. So luckily there was very few out migration, and we ensured that they stayed here and they were well fed. Similarly, the people who were coming in was something which coming in from outside the state was a big challenge. As I said, almost 1 lakh people came back to a place which already has a population of almost around 6 lakhs. So it was a big burden on the entire setup and machinery to actually ensure their well-being and ensure that these people, who most of them were positive, a lot of them were like positive as soon as they were tested. So making separate arrangements for them to stay and to getting them tested on priority. And after that, after they have been dealt with in terms of medical support, only then allow them to proceed to their specific villages. A lot of times there was resistance from local pradhans and local village people also, because they felt that these people were coming from big cities where infection was already quite high. So they resisted these people from coming in, but we had to manage all those things on a regular basis. Thirdly, there was a women helpline specifically created, because it was seen that the reporting and the crime reporting actually suddenly took a huge dip during this entire period. So we created a helpline number so that women could actually call on these numbers in case of any problem they had. It was seen that there was a lot of close relations and close families which were associated in doing these criminal activities. So reporting it became a challenge for women as well, because usually if they're out in the open, for example, if a girl is going to college, some stranger would attack on her or try to pass a lewd comment or whatever. So in this case, it was the family members, it was relatives who were actually the perpetrators. So that dealing with them became a big challenge, and we created helplines for them, and we did get a lot of a good response on it as well. In fact, we have an example where a lady who was suffering from domestic violence all the way in America, who wanted to come back to Hamirpur, was also helped by us, because her husband was in a way forcing her to go to her in-laws in Bihar. And we intervened at Delhi airport and got her back to her family safe and sound. Similarly, this is one other aspect which we laid a big stress on. As I said, we had only 86 policemen per lakh. So we were making sure that we keep them protected and keep them safe. In order to boost their immunity, was our the state government also focused a lot on providing them refreshments, especially those on the field duties. So be it from anything which includes Chyawanprash or multivitamins and things like that, we used to provide them on the field while they were doing on their check duties. This was essential so that their own immunity was increased. We distributed pamphlets amongst them to how to clean their uniforms, how to make sure that when they go home, they are not affecting their families or who. Thirdly, we had another, for every 55 and above person, we ensured that they do not go on field duties and they are on the desk job so that they are not exposed to it. It was we mandatorily conducted tests for everyone above the age of 50, every police personnel above the age of 50 for essential well-being, like we have these pathological tests and such things for diabetes and such activities, such diseases. So we made tested almost everyone. We almost 60% of the police force was tested during this period for physical well-being. Thirdly, it was a lot of stress.
4 minutes, please.
Sir, please conclude in 2 minutes, sir.
Right. As you can see, frugal innovation was something that we actually laid a lot of stress on. Keeping those, as you can see on the side, SHO was someone who was most exposed to these viruses. So we tried to innovate as much as we could. Collaborative policing, as I've already talked about it, we had Tikri Peras, we had local pradhans who were reporting directly to the SHOs and informing us about anything. So we basically augmented the limited amount of force that we had and were able to utilize them so that we could focus on the more vulnerable groups. This is another example of it. We actually held these trust building through inter meetings, which actually diluted or eased the tension quite a bit. And we had an open communication with the public, especially through social media as well and direct intervention. This is an example of the social media campaigns we regularly started with. One very important aspect is that we usually have Hindi or English in which the communication was done. Here we used local language well so that people could actually circulate it and understand it even better. This is an example of it. We countered fake news as and when it came on through our social media, through my personal Twitter handle, official Twitter handle, and our official pages, so that we could kill the fake rumor there and then itself. In future, I've said that I think we need to have more stress on collaborative policing that we are actually in Himachal are doing with quite efficiently. This is something which actually has helped us quite a bit. The number of donations, the number of volunteer work that people came forward and did with us, they became our eyes and ears. I would like to conclude with this remark that Robert Peel, the so-called father of modern policing, he has said that police is public and public is the police. So this is something which actually helped us quite a bit during this entire fight against Corona, and we were lucky because our neighboring state, which have around twice or thrice of our population, have at least 7 or 8 times more Corona cases in comparison to Himachal. So we have actually dealt with it in quite a good manner. And this is how I see it. And this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sen. I think good presentation. I would just like to know, out of 1 lakh people, which you said they came to Mirpur and all that, if they are there or they have left, or what they are doing now?
Sir, there is almost 1 lakh people came. A lot of them were coming from pharmaceutical hubs which are there in Himachal itself. People who are local, for example, they are coming from Delhi or neighboring North Indian states are slowly moving out now as unlock has progressed. But a lot of people who were living in Bombay, Chennai, even of course foreign countries as well, they are still staying back, and we have seen a sudden trend in increased number of cases, like for example land related cases, because a lot of people who are coming back home after 15 days are realizing that the land that actually belonged to them has been taken over by, for example, their uncle or their relative. So there has been a sudden increase in number of these land revenue related cases. These people are staying back for now, but as and when things open up and things get better, because a lot of them have lost their jobs as well. So that's something which is something that needs to be dealt with in future.
Other thing which I did not get was what is something like fake news you were talking? What sort of fake news?
Yes. So fake news was something where the biggest issue was that a lot of people were dealing with containment zone and how been created. So a lot of people would say before actually something has been verified that this so and so person has come positive in this village or whatever. So this created a sense of panic which was unverified, and this created panic amongst people who started calling frantically, saying that these people who are coming from outside, for example, these people who come from so place are the ones who are spreading the virus. Similarly, there was this incident in the beginning itself where a specific religious group was being targeted, saying that these people were seen as perhaps who have brought coronavirus. So we actually first of all pointed them out, found them out. We made sure that these people came out, and if they were infected by the virus, we actually took them onto a separate place. But there were a lot of rumors also going around that these people are spitting in water, and these people are, for example, such kind of rumors were going around in a lot of social media and WhatsApp groups. So we made sure that we not only ease the tension by physically meeting them, but also through social media, because both groups were in fear. One religious group and the other. So bringing them together and making sure that everything is okay. And if anyone has been to Delhi at such and such period, he should actually come out, and we will be treating them as a patient, not as a criminal specifically. So that is something which had to be, confidence building measure had to be done. So those are the fake news that I was talking about.
Thank you.
Right.
I have a small question. From the point of view of number of deaths in Himachal, you are better than the national average. But in terms of the recovery, is far less than the national average. It is about 60% recovery.
Right.
What is the reason?
Sir, first of all, I mean, being from law enforcement, I can't exactly comment on something that is in concern with health department. But I still feel that if my personal view was to be taken, I think the recovery rate has been high, but a lot of people from outside have outside the state have actually come in. So they were initially affected quite a bit. But I cannot specifically say what the recovery rate is and why the reasons for it being very high. But it will only be my personal comment, not in my
I was seeing the data; it is about 60%. Recovery rate is about 60%, whereas
Right.
the national average is about 75%.
Right.
So that's the only concern.
Definitely, it might be a concern, but I can only speculate because I'm not exactly a health
Okay.
expert. So I think,
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.